Paul Mele here, Mele Waterworks.
Trevor Latham, Latham Irrigation.
So today we have valve repair troubleshooting. So pretty much the way that these irrigation valves work is you have your potable water supply or irrigation water supply. Usually there's some kind of isolation valve. You want to shut that down and depressurize the system by opening the bleed screw or the solenoid, and it'll just release all the pressure in the pipes.
Kind of turn it on for a second. And then, you might want to, in general, clean the filters into here. Mm-hmm. Pop it open.
So this is all set up for drip irrigation.
Put it under a hose. Pop it back.
Yeah.
Might want to check the backflow.
So this is these valves are anti-siphon valves. They want to be 12 inches above grade. So these things work in the case that the water reverses. It won't ever continue into the pipes, into your house water supply. It's going to backflush out of this.
Same thing. Put it under a hose. Clean it out. Pop it back on. Sometimes bugs and stuff get in there.
Yeah. There's going to be a couple gaskets. Well, there's a O-ring here you're going to want to not lose, and just make sure you get the plunger in right.
Super common repair with these valves is it just sort of leaks at the lowermost head or the lowest point, and that's the gasket or something stuck under it. Happens a lot with galvanized pipes. There'll be you'll see it, little piece of something, or the gasket's just shot. But you pull it out, you take a look at it. Sometimes there'll be something under there. Sometimes you can't even see it. Turn it back on, flush it out.
Right.
Flush this out, under a hose or in here, and
yeah.
Sometimes even replace it. You can see this guy is a little black now that there's a chloramine. These guys are just starting to get shot out. I've had to replace a ton of them.
Yeah. Usually after about 10 years, these things, those seat gaskets will start getting really worn and brittle. You could usually find replacements pretty easy. You could also try unscrewing and flipping it and doing the opposite side if you are in a pinch.
And they work
yeah.
well after that.
Yeah. So pretty much the way these work, water pressurizes, comes in, hits the seat valve, seat gasket on the bottom, and then there's two chambers in the way the valves work, an upper and a lower, and then a diaphragm in the middle. So its off position is where there's equal pressure. Then once you get the signal through the solenoid or you bleed screw it, it releases the pressure in the upper chamber, allows that gasket, the seat plunger, to move up. Water starts flowing. So usually the biggest thing is things will get up in here, bugs and whatnot nest up, and the water's just gushing out of here. So Trev showed cleaning that out. Then if you got old galvanized pipes, or if some plumbing work had happened recently, you might find that's leaking, that slow leak that Trevor was talking about, and that's the seat gasket. And if that doesn't work, then you want to just take the whole actuator. These valves are cool in that way. Irritrol 311A, you can just pop the actuator off, leave all this, and replace that. A lot of other valves, you're gonna want to
replace the whole thing.
Yeah.
And when you show up on repair, it's nice to have the whole valve no matter what. Don't just show up with the gasket. Don't just show up with it.
Right.
You might have to replace the whole thing. You might not.
So these, we have it. This is mocked up with it threaded right here, Teflon. So whenever you do your new connection, you want to wrap, maybe 4 to 6 wraps in the direction that it screws on, and wrap your Teflon. Reapply that, and then you'll get a nice tight seal. Teflon's really a lubricant. It's not it's just allowing you to thread the fitting on deeper.
And usually it's on straight pipe, it would be like hand tight plus a quarter turn, half
Yeah.
turn. With these guys, you got enough leverage here. You can just kind of hand tight them in.
But yeah, if you really went at it with some channel locks and you really cranked this on, you could split that
easy. Split it. I'm sure we've both done that at some point.
Yeah. So a couple of the things, so we got copper supply here. You might have galvanized, you might have PVC. Then the gray pipe Schedule 80, this is above grade, UV resistant. The white PVC Schedule 40 for below grade. You'll see the white PVC above grade a lot, and that's just something that keep an eye on, or replace it with the gray because it's going to go bad. The UV will make it brittle and shatter. And this
Yeah,
is under
sometimes
pressure.
if it's in the shade and they're close on money, or if it's under a deck, I might leave it and I'll tell them.
Right.
But you know it's going to go at some point. You should
And-
probably replace it.
Yeah, and you got these valves. These are above grade valves, anti-siphon, and then sometimes you might have valves in a box underground, and they're going to look a little different, and they could be a little trickier to work on just because you're working in a hole. But you can. The way that they work is generally the same, except they don't have backflow device.
They'll have a backflow somewhere else.
They'll have another kind of backflow somewhere else.
And then for drip, this is filter, pressure reducer.
Mm-hmm.
Get it down to drip pressure.
Right.
Spray, you don't need to do that.
Right. Yeah, spray system, you just have PVC going down to the ground.